So soil load testing. These are different products you can buy. This one's concrete and soil. Gives you pounds per square inch with the pressure you apply to it. And that's a gauge that will stop, a bar if you will, that will stop at the pressure you create. Now you can imagine, I'm just putting it on the tip of my finger. I can get up to about 300 psi without. Hello, whoever you are, and I think you can comment. I said I would do a video for a couple of guys about buying it once they purchase this tool to show them about soil load testing. And these are some of the tools that I use in general. This is probably the most expensive. Not probably. It is the most expensive. It's quite a few $100s. It's when you're really doing a long-term test. This gauge, you apply a load to it, resting on the base of the soil. This has to be flat against your soil. That you're going to use your final soil, so not your top layer. All right, so let's just jump right to the tools for this soil load testing. And again, you guys can comment. I think I might be able to see it. Let's see. I probably have to zoom this out, don't I? Let's see. Zoom out. Give me a second to set this. It's on a tripod, so give me a second to give that some range. Taking a little break before I head back to work. So you've got different points that correspond to different pressures. Let me see if you guys can see that. And upside down. And rotation. Soil compaction. You've got the small tip and the large tip. Each one would represent different scales you're going to use. And the tips are, for this tool, are here and here. They're kept here so you don't damage them. You don't want to round these tips off or anything else. You don't want to drive this in the soil and hit rocks, for example. Hey, Hermit, how'd you make out on your doctor's appointment? I thought you had one, right? All right, so this has to be screws on, and it creates this head for your snug. That's it. No wrenches required. You don't want to burr this up, and it's going to create your load, your friction as you push in. These are different marks. Every 4 inches, this is a mark. Now, if you don't want to have dry mud on here or anything else, it's all part of causing some issues, although this will clear the path as you go in. This is your stop gauge. Now, luckily, I have some soil here, not in. We're waiting. Yeah, Hermit, I made a video on the other channel trying to show you that, it was for you actually, about the, I don't know which one you're dealing with, but it was prostate cancer one I made a video on with that guy, this doctor who showed his reversing with, well, no meats. I got my meat down to 8 ounces a day. But let's go ahead and let's see if I can give a point. Okay, we're right here. So this soil has been backfilled. Hey, cousin it. I'm going over the tool for the guys that I told about the load bearing capacity of soil. Now this is down about 3 feet, so it's interesting that this gauge will start going down. I'm going to go this. I'm going to do two things here. Grab the truck camera. I'm going to. Got to get us back in shade. Well, it's not going to work here. Nope. So I'm going to come over here. Notice my work boots? Yeah. I have them in the car, along with a hard hat, which I don't need today. So now, looking at this soil, this test, I've never done it with one hand. Let's see if we can see you go into the ground also at the same time. Now, it seems like it's giving us. Look at that reading. It's awesome high reading, right? 100 psi. It's a false reading. The soil is dry and hard at the top because the sun has dried it out. And dry soil will do that. Kidney for me, 3rd time, not a huge problem. Good deal, Herman. So that was a false reading. As you guys saw, it was high. It was around 200 psi. The soil is dry on top, so they give you a false reading. I did not compact it well. I did drive over this with my tractor. So, yeah, it's getting... That's a false reading. I'm still up there at probably 250 psi, and I'm really putting load on it. So I need to find a new spot. That's a false reading. Let's try. Let me make sure you guys can see it. It's funny, the false reading on my video here. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go try this crack, see if I can get between the surface. All right, another false reading. Let me get in there. Yeah, I'm riding right over my tractor. So my tractor compacted. So I guess we can talk about that. That's a good way to get a false reading, is your machine will compact the topsoil and give you a false reading. But it's also a way to get around things sometimes. Watch as I push this in now. So this is pretty much undisturbed over here. And right about, I'm gonna get the camera. We're getting some crazy reading up it. I know it's lost focus. Hold me a second. Come on. And you do this when you're doing footers or backfilling. Especially if you guys want to build a deck around your house. That soil's all been backfilled softly. It's fake. Okay, so we're at 150 or so. It's gonna push to 200. And to help you guys follow the scale on that, look at these bars. Each one's 4 inches. And here we go. And then all of a sudden it dropped. And now it's pretty much stable right about there. Going down a little more. And I'm at 300 PSI right there. And that's good, strong, solid soil. But so what I would do, I'd mark it, pull it out. Yeah, that's a good one. And so 1, 2, 3, we can call it 4, 12 inches down. I'm getting 300 PSI, which would be awesome for the load per square inch to calculate. So you do that 144, and you know whatever your footer is. So if you're making a 10-inch footer, you now can know what it can take per whatever your load is. So if you put a column on a 10-inch footer, and this could act as one, let me make sure it's in the video, and it could act as one, 10 by 10, you've got 20 inches times 300, gives you your load capacity of, say, a column. There's a column right there. As long as you can get this to distribute equally with the reinforcement. Okay, so, but before you do that, since it's only 1 foot, you dig down. Ah, great. The person I'm waiting for just showed up. So I'm gonna do other samples. I hit it again. Oh no, different car. Wow, that was lucky. So you're gonna do the same thing over and over again. Look, tomorrow I wanna head out and show you guys Philadelphia. I've did some research on the Benjamin Franklin Bridge and that other bridge that I think you guys took interest in. And now we have another tool, and so I'll try to do that. I'll post ahead of time tonight if everything works out. Now this tool is the long-term testing tool. You put it there, you load it, and you wait. Now let's give you readings up to 6,000 PSI. The ground's got to be level. I have a welded column, if you will, like that. I load it with a known weight. We know what the weight, the PSI is once we see it come here. Now what we want to see is that, say we load it overnight and load it for 3 days, 4 days. We load it for 4 days. And say when we initially load it, we have a reading of 2,000 PSI. And it's stable, and we leave it alone. Tomorrow we come back, we take measurements, and we want to see if nothing should change on that. But you have scales that you put across this, and you measure down. And you don't want to see any, I'm sorry, from the soil. You don't want to see any, ideally you wouldn't want to see any movement. You will see movement. Now this is it's good for concrete too, to give you initial set, it's called. Initial set's around 500 PSI. And that's when you're done. The concrete's on its way. You shouldn't be, you're done at that point. The concrete's setting up. There's nothing else that you can do to save it. You're on the downstroke. So this says soil test and concrete penetrometer. 700 PSI it goes up to. Sorry about that. I just wanted to see if I can push it down this bearing. Just wanted to make sure everything was smooth on it. Okay, good. All right, so this is another tool you use. The problem with this tool is it's really, you're only getting a small 1-inch view of everything, you know. You can get a fake readings left and right. It just dropped in. Hopefully you guys, oh, you didn't see it. Let's do it again. So we get a faux reading, and besides, the surface is so small. You got to square up with the soil though. Right now I'm around 600, 700, and it's not penetrating yet. Again, my tractor went over top of that. Wow, that's amazing. Let's see if we can pull in tight. And it's that little teeny dimple. There's a water line that went in here. From there, all the way across behind me and over to a property. It's down 3 feet. And I didn't have to worry about backfilling this in any particular way. Would have fun with that. Yeah. Was it all the way in Canada? So that's one of the tools for anyone interested. It says CT-421A. They've got newer versions, etc. They're spring loaded in here. It's kind of a simple tool. I really have a crush on this tool. This is probably my most go-to tool. It's so fast. After you dig a footer down, say 3 feet down the frost line, then you still test beyond that 3 foot. And so you can see if you're going to run into soils that are soft below. So you get a fake reading. Otherwise, you can get a faux reading, a fake reading, rather. So, as you can see, I'm just dropping. There we go. That's beautiful. That's where you just see what happened there. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully you did. Yeah, I almost dropped in 2 feet, and that's what a tractor didn't get. That's what I was looking for. That's what so you can see the soils have no bearing capacity, nothing. Even though it seems like it does, you build anything on top of that, you're down the junk. Not till you get down to, well, what's that, 8 inches? So that's 18 inches. Now I'm up to 100 psi. Now I'm at 200 and I'm pushing. It's pretty stable right about there. Let me give it a little more load. I want to see if it breaks again. It's not breaking, it's just creeping down nice and slow at an even psi. So right about there, I would say that you've got stable soil. Now you would dig down to your sample there. You'd run this ideally in your whole path of wherever you plan on building. So ideally you want to see that if you're building a foundation, that someone just sent me a text. Okay. Damn, I missed the start. Rick, you can bounce this one back. This is all just, I'm focused on this one. I'm not jumping around too much on different topics, like my amygdala, right? So if you were doing the footer, actually, Rick, this would be good for you. It's your house with your cracked foundation. This tool is $200. I don't think you can rent it. It's like $250. And thanks, clay range, compact, and sun-baked like brick. Yeah, so you would dig down, you'd get rid of that sun-baked top layer. A contractor told me that if I, oops, what happened there? That if I dump fill in the area, it would be like virgin ground. In 7 years of sitting virgin ground, what does it mean? Hard ground, self-compacting soil. So you can do this in your 7-year test if you wanted to test that. Now, this property's been sitting around for hundreds of years. They've owned this property before me, before I owned this property, 100 years. The previous owner. I actually know where some pipes are, and I can check a lot of the soils, and we can say that that I think it's around 200 psi, this soil. But then I'd have to check the neighbors, get a litmus. Yes, got landscape issues too. Yeah, Rick. So you would go around the side of your house, and you'd want to see if it's soft soil. This would help you find moisture down there. If you punch in everywhere around your foundation of your house, all of a sudden you just drop through. You more than likely got an expansive, soft soil, moisture, if you will. So now that was just a mark, just to show you guys. But let me pull it out. So that gives us easy 200. No, there we go. There we go. Just dropping in, and I'm at. It doesn't matter that whatever my readings are right now. It's not till I come to a stop, and I'm still going down. I'm maxed out on this, so I already know. if I depended on it, right? If I need to depend on it. So that tells you automatically, dig down 2 feet, you dig down with a shovel, and you take readings again. You start shoving this in again until you come to your load, and it can tell you, you'll be able to determine whether you should be at, even though the foundation is typically 3 feet under the frost line. This might tell you that you're not meeting your requirements and you're going to get a crack in your foundation. So it might tell you you've got to go down further to a more solid soil, especially soils that can have good aeration in them, that allow a lot of moisture to go through. And there we go. You can use, your frost line is what I'm driving at. Think about max that out, this video, for these tools. This is the long-term one. This would be more for industrial use. If you need to confirm up to 6,000 psi, and you need a long-term, over a week or so, readings to see what's happening with your soil. This will be it, but it's only giving you a snapshot of that soil right there. So ideally, you want to make quite a few snapshots around your foundation, and this gives you faster snapshots. It really is nice. I'm gonna wrap that up. I'm gonna undo this tip. Now that harder soil, I could use a smaller tip. Put it back in here for safety. Protect it. Rick, can I keep this video online? Yeah, I'll keep this one online, Rick. It's oh yeah, there's the name of it, agraTronix. You can find it, and they give you, they calibrate it, so you get and it's only 250 bucks. You pay any more than that, and it's no good. I think it might even seen it for 170 something, but that's a scam. It doesn't come out right. The delivery goes crazy, and they don't send it out. They tell you we lost a product, a bunch of junk. Okay, that's the super heavy one. This one's in the hundreds of dollars. It's awesome. This is the one I mostly use for concrete, for 500 psi's when you get your initial set in concrete. Hello, how you doing? Oh, male lady. So anyway, there we go. Anybody want to chat up anything before I hang out on this video? Of course, I don't have enough strength to make that move. There we go. Yeah, only weigh 80 pounds compared to that. Well, that's all the load I could put on there. It's pretty badass. Anything else we can talk about? 18 minutes live. So tomorrow, I think I'll take us to Benjamin Franklin Bridge, or maybe later on this afternoon. I'll make it. They got a free art museum thing. Maybe I'll put the camera back on and show you some free art museum stuff. All right. Like I said, if I'm gonna keep this online, I better hang up on the video then, because I don't want it to discourage people with a long video. Take care, guys, and wish you all the best. Can you keep it? Yep, Rick, I'm keeping it online. And I guess I should tag this product. Give them some free marketing. agraTronix. It's usually for soil, it's perfect timing. The guy just pulled up. I gotta go. Cheerio. Thanks, Hermit. See you guys later. Oh, that's the psychotherapist, the guy that pulled up. I'm actually helping him. I'm doing some welding for him. Kind of cool. He hates my amygdala theory. He likes it though, but he hates it because I simplify it so easily. They like to do long-term stuff, right?